Have you ever wondered how we truly measure a player's defensive impact in basketball? It is a complex and often overlooked part of the game, and while we look for simple metrics to understand it, sometimes those tools have hidden complexities that are important to acknowledge. Defensive box plus minus, often called DBPM, is a valuable tool for defensive analytics, but it does have several notable shortcomings. Primarily, DBPM struggles with accurately measuring off-ball defense. It can be heavily influenced by team context, and it often fails to capture the nuances of specific defensive assignments or schemes. Essentially, it is a box score estimate, not a direct measure of every defensive action a player takes. The core reason for these limitations lies in how DBPM is constructed. It relies heavily on traditional box score statistics like blocks, steals, and defensive rebounds, attempting to infer a player's defensive impact from these countable numbers. However, many crucial defensive actions, such as shutting down passing lanes, effectively fighting through screens, or perfectly executing a team's complex defensive scheme, do not appear in the box score. For example, a player might excel at guiding opponents into help defense, a critical skill that no single box score stat reflects directly. Furthermore, like all plus-minus metrics, DBPM distributes credit or blame to individual players based on how their team performs when they are on the court. This makes it difficult to isolate a player's individual defensive skill from the overall team defensive performance or the contributions of their teammates. It also treats all defensive possessions equally, without distinguishing between high-leverage situations or specific matchups. So how should you use DBPM effectively, knowing these limitations? Think of it as a helpful initial indicator, a directional arrow rather than a precise, all-encompassing measurement. When evaluating a player's defense, consider DBPM alongside other more specific metrics like steal percentage, block percentage, or even opponent field goal percentage at the rim when available. The best approach is to cross-reference DBPM with actual game film. Watching how a player consistently contributes to their team's defense, even when they are not directly involved in a steal or block, provides invaluable context that DBPM alone cannot. An interesting insight about DBPM is that while it does a decent job of quantifying actions that result in a box score stat, such as forcing turnovers or grabbing defensive rebounds, it significantly struggles with the subtle, often unseen defensive contributions that truly define a great defender. These might include the player who communicates constantly, the one who always boxes out even if a teammate gets the rebound, or the one who is pivotal in a successful defensive rotation. Understanding these limitations helps you appreciate that defensive analytics, while advanced, still requiring a comprehensive view. It helps us avoid the common mistake of oversimplifying a player's defensive worth based on one number alone. Ultimately, recognizing DBPM's shortcomings means you can use it more intelligently. It serves as an excellent starting point for discussion and analysis, highlighting players who are likely impactful on defense. However, true defensive mastery encompasses for more than what box scores can capture, demanding an understanding of scheme, communication, and the critical defensive actions that never show up in any statistical ledger. By combining DBPM with other data and keen observation, you gain a much clearer picture of a player's defensive value.